surrounded by a garden that was said to be the most breathtaking in the kingdom. Despite her happiness in tending to her garden, Elara often felt a deep longing for something more, a sense that her heart's true wish remained unfulfilled. One evening, as the full moon cast a silvery glow over the village, Elara heard the tale of the moonflower from the village elder. The elder spoke of the moonflower's magical power and hinted that it was hidden in the heart of the Whispering Woods, a mysterious forest that lay beyond the village. Determined to find the moonflower and discover her heart's true desire, Elara decided to venture into the Whispering Woods that very night. She packed a small bag with essentials, a lantern, a map, some bread, and her grandmother's locket for comfort, and set out under the moonlit sky. The Whispering Woods were as enchanting as they were daunting. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the path twisted and turned in ways that felt both magical and perplexing. Elara followed the directions she had been given, her lantern casting a warm glow as she moved deeper into the forest. After walking for what felt like hours, Elara arrived at a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a small, tranquil pond surrounded by luminescent flowers. The moonflower was said to be found near this pond, but Elara couldn't see it at first. She noticed, however, that the pond's surface reflected the moonlight in a way that created a magical pattern on the ground. As she examined the pond, a soft voice spoke from the shadows. To find the moonflower, you must first understand the heart of the forest. Elara turned to see a gentle, silver-haired fae with sparkling eyes emerging from behind a tree. The fae introduced herself as Lyra and explained that to locate the moonflower, Elara needed to solve the riddle of the forest. The riddle was, I am not alive, yet I grow, I do not have lungs, yet I need air, I do not have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I? Elara thought deeply about the riddle. She remembered the many plants and flowers she had cared for, and it came to her. Fire, she answered confidently. Lyra's eyes sparkled with approval. Correct. You have shown wisdom. Now, follow the light of the moon, and the path will reveal itself. Elara followed Lyra's advice and noticed that the moonlight seemed to guide her towards a cluster of ancient trees. She walked carefully, stepping where the moon's glow was brightest. As she reached the base of an ancient oak tree, she saw a faint, ethereal light flickering among its roots. Digging gently around the roots, Elara uncovered a hidden compartment containing a delicate, silver box. Inside the box was the moonflower, a bloom of extraordinary beauty with petals that shimmered like stardust. Elara's heart raced with excitement as she held the flower, knowing that it was the answer to her heart's longing. As she admired the moonflower, Lyra appeared once more. You have found the moonflower, and now you must make your wish. But remember, the wish must come from a place of true love and selflessness. Elara closed her eyes and thought about her family, her village, and her desire to bring happiness and prosperity to those around her. With a heartfelt wish for the well-being and joy of her loved ones, she whispered her wish to the moonflower. The flower's petals glowed brightly, and a warm, soothing light enveloped the clearing. Elara felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment as the light spread across the Whispering Woods. When she returned to Willowbrook with the moonflower, the village was transformed. The gardens flourished with unprecedented beauty, and a sense of harmony and joy filled the air. Elara's wish had brought prosperity and happiness not just to her family but to the entire village. The story of Elara's quest became a beloved legend in Willowbrook, a tale of bravery, wisdom, and the power of selfless love. The moonflower was revered as a symbol of hope and fulfillment, and Elara's garden became a place of wonder and enchantment. And so, in the kingdom of Willowbrook, under the light of the full moon and the glow of the moonflower, the village thrived in harmony and happiness, a testament to the magic of wishes made from the heart. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast kingdom where meadows stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a hidden village named Starbrook. This village was renowned for its beauty, particularly its garden, which was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight. In Starbrook lived a kind and curious girl named Ivy. Ivy was known for her love of nature and her fascination with the magical garden. She often wondered about the origin of the garden's enchantment. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the garden's mysterious past, and Ivy's curiosity only grew stronger. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting its silver glow over Starbrook, Ivy decided it was time to uncover the truth. She slipped out of her cozy cottage and made her way to the garden, which was bathed in the soft, ethereal light of the moon. As she wandered through the moonlit flowers, Ivy noticed a path she had never seen before. It was lined with delicate, glowing stones that seemed to lead deeper into the garden. With a sense of wonder, she followed the path until she reached a secluded corner of the garden where an ancient, gnarled tree stood. The tree was unlike any Ivy had seen before. Its branches were twisted into intricate shapes, and its leaves shimmered like silver. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate door, barely noticeable among the roots and undergrowth. Ivy's heart raced with excitement. Could this be the key to the garden's mystery? With a gentle push, Ivy opened the door. It creaked softly and revealed a narrow staircase leading down into the earth. Taking a deep breath, she descended the steps, her footsteps echoing in the quiet darkness. At the bottom, she found herself in a hidden chamber illuminated by the soft, golden light of dozens of glowing lanterns. In the center of the chamber was an elegant table covered with old, dusty books and scrolls. Atop the table lay a magnificent, silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon. Ivy reached out and touched the pendant, and as she did, a soft voice filled the room. "Welcome, Ivy. I have been expecting you," said the voice, which belonged to a graceful figure emerging from the shadows. It was a beautiful fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden. Long ago, this garden was blessed by the moon goddess to protect a powerful secret. The pendant you see before you is the key to unlocking that secret." Ivy's eyes widened in awe. "What secret does the garden hold?" Luna smiled warmly. The garden's enchantment was created to protect a magical artifact known as the Heart of the Moon. It has the power to bring harmony and balance to the world. However, the heart has been hidden for centuries to keep it safe from those who might use its power for mischief. Luna handed Ivy the pendant. The Heart of the Moon is hidden in a place where light and shadow meet. Only one with a pure heart and unwavering courage can find it. With this pendant, you have the power to uncover its location. Ivy accepted the pendant, feeling its warmth and energy. "How will I know where to look?" "The pendant will guide you," Luna explained. "It responds to the moonlight and will lead you to the heart. Follow its light, and trust in your heart's guidance." With a grateful nod, Ivy left the chamber and ascended the staircase. The pendant glowed softly around her neck, guiding her through the garden's winding paths. As she walked, she noticed that the pendant's light grew brighter and more focused. Following the pendant's glow, Ivy reached a secluded grove where the moonlight streamed down through the branches in a perfect, silver beam. At the center of the grove stood a large, ancient stone with an inscription. Ivy read the inscription aloud, which revealed a riddle: "To find the heart of the moon, you must seek where light and shadow dance in tune. Where the moon's touch is gentle and kind, there the heart's true light you'll find." Ivy looked around and noticed that the moonlight created a shimmering pattern on the ground where the light and shadows intertwined. She carefully stepped onto the illuminated area, and the stone began to shift, revealing a hidden compartment beneath it. Inside the compartment lay a stunning, crystal-clear orb that seemed to pulse with a soft, silver light. Ivy carefully lifted the orb, feeling its gentle warmth. The moment she touched it, the entire garden seemed to come alive with an even more vibrant glow, and the flower's light grew brighter and more vivid. Luna appeared beside her, a look of satisfaction on her face. "You have found the heart of the moon. Its magic will bring peace and balance to the world, and its protection will ensure the garden's beauty for generations to come." Ivy returned to the village with the Heart of the Moon, and the garden's magic was shared with all of Starbrook. The village thrived under the garden's enchantment, and the moonlit blooms became even more radiant and enchanting. The legend of Ivy's bravery and the Heart of the Moon became a cherished tale in Starbrook, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures with courage and an open heart. And so, under the light of the moon, Starbrook flourished, its beauty and magic lasting for many generations to come. and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met lush forests, there was a village named Silverwood. Silverwood was renowned for its beauty and tranquility, nestled in a valley surrounded by sparkling streams and tall, ancient trees. But one day, a mysterious fog descended upon the village, causing it to vanish from sight, leaving only an empty, silent landscape where it once stood. In a neighboring village, young Eliza lived with her grandmother. Eliza was known for her kindness and curiosity. One afternoon, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Eliza found an old, dusty chest. Inside, she discovered a beautiful pendant that shimmered with an otherworldly light. The pendant was shaped like a crescent moon with a sparkling gem at its center. Intrigued, Eliza showed the pendant to her grandmother. Her grandmother's eyes widened with recognition. "This pendant belonged to the last guardian of Silverwood," she said. "It is said to hold the power to find the lost village, but no one knows how to unlock its magic." Determined to help the villagers, Eliza decided to uncover the pendant's secrets. She set out on a journey to find Silverwood, guided only by the pendant's soft glow. As she ventured into the forest, the pendant's light grew brighter, leading her deeper into the woods. After walking for hours, Eliza came across a clearing with a large, ancient oak tree. At the base of the tree was a stone pedestal with intricate carvings. The pendant's light flickered as if it were responding to something. Eliza approached the pedestal and saw an inscription: "To reveal the hidden village, follow the light of the moon and seek the keeper of dreams." Eliza looked up at the sky and saw that the moon was full, casting a silvery light over the forest. She followed the moonlight until she reached a serene, moonlit glade. In the center of the glade was a small, crystal-clear pond that reflected the moon's light like a mirror. As Eliza gazed into the pond, a gentle voice spoke from the water. "I am Luna, the keeper of dreams. To find Silverwood, you must solve the riddle of the moon and show a heart full of courage." Luna's reflection shimmered and began to recite a riddle: "In the heart of the night where shadows play, find the path where moonbeams stray. There lies the key to the village lost, but beware of the frost that guards the cost." Eliza pondered the riddle and realized it referred to a hidden path illuminated by moonlight. She searched the glade and noticed a faint, glowing trail leading into the forest. Following the trail, she soon found herself at the entrance to a cave covered in shimmering frost. The cave was cold and dark, but Eliza pressed on, guided by the pendant's warm glow. Inside, she discovered a large chamber with walls of sparkling ice. At the center of the chamber stood a tall, silver mirror surrounded by delicate frost flowers. As Eliza approached the mirror, she saw her reflection, but something was different. The reflection showed her standing in a vibrant, lush village. The mirror began to speak. "To reveal the lost village, you must reflect its essence. Speak with truth and heart." Eliza took a deep breath and spoke to her reflection. "I seek Silverwood to restore its magic and bring its beauty back to the world. I believe in the power of kindness and courage." The mirror's surface rippled and shimmered, revealing a hidden passage behind it. The passage led Eliza through a series of twisting tunnels until she emerged into a breathtakingly beautiful village. It was Silverwood, restored to its former glory, its buildings adorned with glowing lanterns and its streets lined with vibrant flowers. The villagers of Silverwood welcomed Eliza with joy and gratitude. They explained that the fog that had hidden their village was a spell cast by an envious sorcerer who wanted the village's magic for himself. The pendant had the power to break the spell and reveal the village, but it required someone with a pure heart to unlock its magic. Eliza's bravery and determination had broken the spell and restored the village. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast, and the pendant was honored as a symbol of their return. Eliza was hailed as a hero, and she was invited to stay in Silverwood as a beloved guest. As the celebration continued, Luna's voice echoed softly in the night sky: "You have shown that true courage and kindness can overcome even the darkest of spells. The magic of Silverwood will always shine brightly, thanks to you." Eliza returned to her grandmother's village, sharing the tale of her adventure and the lessons she had learned. The story of the enchanted pendant and the lost village became a cherished legend, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures and to believe in the power of kindness and courage. And so, the tale of Eliza and the enchanted pendant was told for generations, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, a heart full of bravery and love could restore magic and bring light to the darkest of times. And thus, the story of Eliza and the Lost Village became a timeless legend, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The Princess and the Stonecutter. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and flowing rivers, there was a kind and just king who ruled with wisdom and grace. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isla, who was loved by all for her gentle heart and adventurous spirit. Despite her royal duties, Isla often slipped away from the castle to explore the forests, mountains, and villages of the kingdom. She loved nothing more than to learn about the lives of her people and to help them in any way she could. One day, while exploring a remote village at the foot of the mountains, Princess Isla came across a young stonecutter named Rowan. He was strong and skilled, known throughout the village for his ability to shape even the hardest stone into works of art. But despite his talent, Rowan was humble and lived a simple life, working from dawn until dusk to support his family. As Isla watched Rowan work, she noticed something peculiar. Every time Rowan struck his chisel against the stone, a small spark of light would flash, as if the stone itself were alive. Intrigued, Isla approached Rowan and asked him about his craft. Rowan looked up from his work and smiled. "These stones are special, Princess," he said. "They come from the heart of the mountain, where it is said that ancient magic still lingers. When I carve them, I can sometimes feel that magic flowing through my hands." Isla was fascinated. She had heard stories of the ancient magic in the mountains, but she had never seen it for herself. "What do you do with the stones once you've shaped them?" she asked. "I make many things," Rowan replied. "Statues, pillars, and sometimes even jewelry. But the most important thing I carve is the heartstone." "The heartstone?" Isla echoed, curious. "What is that?" Rowan stood up and wiped the sweat from his brow. "The heartstone is a tradition in our village. Every year, I carve a special stone in the shape of a heart and place it at the center of the village square. It is believed that as long as the heartstone remains whole, our village will be protected from harm." Isla was moved by the story. "May I see the heartstone?" she asked. Rowan nodded and led Isla to the village square. In the center of the square stood a large stone heart, polished to a gleaming finish. It radiated a soft, warm light, and Isla could feel the magic within it. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and ribbons, and children played around the heartstone, laughing and singing. "It's beautiful," Isla said, her voice filled with awe. "You've done a wonderful thing for your village, Rowan." Rowan smiled modestly. "It's not just my work, Princess. The heartstone is a symbol of our unity and strength. As long as we stand together, the stone will remain strong." Isla spent the rest of the day in the village, getting to know the people and learning more about their traditions. She was so impressed by the stonecutter's skill and the villagers' sense of community that she decided to return to the castle and tell her father about what she had seen. That evening, as Isla dined with her father, she told him all about Rowan and the heartstone. The king listened intently, and when Isla had finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "It is clear that the young stonecutter has great talent," the king said. "But more importantly, he understands the value of unity and hard work. I would like to meet him." The next day, the king and Princess Isla traveled to the village to meet Rowan. The king was impressed by Rowan's humility and skill, and after hearing about the heartstone, he made a decision. "Rowan," the king said, "would like to commission you to create a heartstone for the entire kingdom. It will be placed in the grand square of the capital, where it will symbolize the unity and strength of all our people." Rowan was honored by the request but also overwhelmed. "Your Majesty, it would be a great honor, but the magic in the stones from our village is special. I'm not sure if it will work in the capital." The king smiled kindly. "I believe the magic lies not just in the stone, but in the hands and heart of the one who shapes it. You have the talent, and with your skill, I have no doubt that you can create a heartstone worthy of the entire kingdom." Encouraged by the king's words, Rowan agreed to take on the task. He worked tirelessly for weeks, selecting the finest stones from the mountains and carefully carving them into the shape of a heart. As he worked, he could feel the magic flowing through his hands, just as it had before, but this time it was even stronger. It was as if the hopes and dreams of the entire kingdom were being infused into the stone. When the heartstone was finally complete, it was even more magnificent than the one in the village. It shone with a bright, pure light, and when Rowan touched it, he felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The king and Princess Isla were overjoyed and they saw the finished heartstone. It was placed in the grand square of the capital, where people from all corners of the kingdom came to see it. The heartstone became a symbol of the kingdom's unity, and it was said that as long as it remained whole, the kingdom would be safe from any harm. Rowan was hailed as a hero, but he remained humble, always reminding people that the true magic came from their unity and strength. Princess Isla and Rowan became close friends, and she often visited him in his village to see how he was doing and to learn more about his craft. As the years passed, the kingdom prospered, and the heartstone remained a shining symbol of peace and unity. And though the people celebrated Rowan for his great work, he always insisted that it was the love and support of his fellow villagers, and the encouragement of a kind princess, that had made the magic possible. And so, the kingdom lived on in peace and harmony, protected by the magic of the heartstone and the unity of its people. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between a shimmering lake and an ancient forest, there was a mysterious place known as the Whispering Grove. The villagers often spoke of it with a mix of awe and caution. It was said that the grove was enchanted, and that its trees could speak in hushed whispers that carried secrets and wisdom from ages past. In the village lived a young girl named Lyra, who had always been captivated by stories of the Whispering Grove. Her grandmother, a wise and gentle woman, often told her tales of the grove's magical properties and the wonders hidden within. Lyra's curiosity grew with each story, and she longed to discover the secrets for herself. One bright summer morning, with the sun casting golden rays over the landscape, Lyra decided it was time to venture into the grove. She packed a small satchel with bread, cheese, and a flask of water, and set off towards the forest, her heart fluttering with excitement. As she entered the grove, the trees seemed to sway gently, as if welcoming her. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft hum of nature. Lyra walked along a winding path, guided by the whispers that seemed to guide her steps. Suddenly, the path led her to a clearing where a grand, ancient tree stood. Its trunk was wide and gnarled, and its branches reached out like protective arms. At the base of the tree was a large, intricately carved wooden door. Lyra approached the door, feeling a mixture of wonder and trepidation. The door was slightly ajar, and Lyra could hear a soft, melodious voice from within. She gently pushed the door open and stepped inside. The interior was illuminated by a soft, golden light, and she found herself in a circular room lined with shelves of glowing, crystal orbs. In the center of the room was a small table with a single, ornate book resting upon it. Lyra approached the book and saw that it was bound in silver and embossed with a symbol of a tree intertwined with stars. She carefully opened it, and the pages seemed to shimmer with a magical light. As she turned the pages, Lyra found that they were filled with beautiful illustrations and stories of ancient times. Each story was about people who had come to the Whispering Grove seeking wisdom and guidance. Lyra read about a hero who had saved his village from a terrible drought and a wise queen who had used the grove's knowledge to bring peace to her kingdom. But as Lyra continued to read, she came across a story that stood out. It was about a hidden treasure that could only be found by someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. The treasure was said to be hidden deep within the grove and was protected by a magical riddle. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. She felt a deep connection to the story and knew that this was the reason she had come to the Whispering Grove. She decided to seek out the treasure, guided by the clues in the book. Following the instructions, Lyra ventured deeper into the grove. The whispers of the trees seemed to grow louder, guiding her steps. She came to a small, babbling brook that sparkled with a silvery light. On the other side of the brook was a stone archway covered in vines. Lyra crossed the brook and stepped through the archway. She found herself in a hidden glen filled with glowing flowers and a crystal-clear pond. At the center of the pond was a small island with a pedestal. On the pedestal rested a delicate, golden chest. With a sense of reverence, Lyra approached the chest. It was adorned with intricate designs of stars and trees, just like the book. The chest had a lock shaped like a star, and Lyra realized that she needed to solve the magical riddle to open it. The riddle was written in elegant script on the chest: I am not alive, but I grow; I don't have lungs, but I need air; I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lyra thought hard, recalling the stories from the book and the whispers of the grove. Finally, she had an epiphany and whispered, fire. The chest clicked open, revealing a shimmering golden light. Inside, Lyra found a beautiful, crystal pendant in the shape of a tree. The pendant glowed with a warm, soothing light. As Lyra held the pendant, she felt a surge of peace and joy. She knew that the true treasure was not the pendant itself, but the wisdom and courage she had gained on her journey. She thanked the Whispering Grove and the magical beings who had guided her. Lyra returned to the village with the pendant, which she chose to keep as a symbol of her adventure. The village thrived with newfound hope and prosperity, and the stories of Lyra's bravery became a cherished part of their lore. And so, the Whispering Grove remained a place of wonder and wisdom, its secrets revealed only to those with a pure heart and a noble spirit. Lyra's story was a reminder that the greatest treasures are often found through the journey of discovery and the kindness we share with others. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant kingdom called Florinwood, there was a grand palace surrounded by blooming gardens and sparkling streams. Florinwood was known for its eternal spring, a time of perpetual bloom where every flower was in full bloom, and every breeze carried the scent of fresh blossoms. The source of this eternal spring was the Crown of Eternal Spring, a magical artifact that kept the land flourishing. The crown was kept in the royal palace, guarded by the wise Queen Amara. Queen Amara had a young daughter named Eloan, who loved to explore the gardens and dreamt of one day becoming a great leader like her mother. One day, while playing near the palace, Eloan found an old, hidden path that led to a secluded grove. In the center of the grove stood a large, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, she discovered a dusty old scroll. The scroll revealed an old legend: when the Crown of Eternal Spring is in danger, a hero with a pure heart must seek the 3 hidden relics to restore the crown's power and save the kingdom from the coming winter. Eloan showed the scroll to her mother. Queen Amara's face grew serious. The crown's magic is fading. If the power of the crown is not restored, our kingdom may face a harsh winter. You must find the 3 relics mentioned in the scroll. Determined to save her kingdom, Eloan embarked on her quest. The first relic was said to be the Crystal of Light, hidden in the Caves of Reflection, a place known for its dazzling yet treacherous pathways. Eloan journeyed through the forest and arrived at the entrance to the caves. Inside, the walls sparkled with countless reflections, making it difficult to find her way. Eloan remembered a riddle from the scroll: through the reflections, find the gleam, where light and shadows softly dream. Seek the crystal where the light is true, and the path to the first relic will come to you. As she navigated through the caves, Eloan followed the light that danced in the shadows. Finally, she found a hidden chamber where the crystal of light rested on a pedestal, glowing with a warm, radiant light. Eloan carefully took the crystal and continued her journey. The second relic was the heart of the forest, hidden in the enchanted glade. This magical place was guarded by the guardian spirits of the forest, who tested the worthiness of those who sought the relic. Eloan entered the glade, where she was greeted by a wise old fox who spoke in riddles. To find the heart of the forest, you must show your true self, said the fox. Only a heart full of kindness and bravery will reveal the relic. Eloan spent time helping the creatures of the glade, mending broken nests and tending to wounded animals. As she showed her genuine kindness and courage, the heart of the forest appeared before her, a glowing emerald that pulsed with the rhythm of the forest. With 2 relics secured, Eloan set out for the final part of her quest, the Waters of Serenity, said to be hidden in a hidden spring deep within the misty mountains. The spring was known for its healing properties and was said to hold the final relic, the waters of serenity. After a long and arduous journey, Eloan reached the spring. The water was crystal clear and shimmered with a calming blue light. To retrieve the waters of serenity, Eloan needed to answer a question posed by the spring's guardian, a majestic, ancient stag. The heart's true wish can be seen when darkness falls and the light is keen. To restore the balance, what must be done when shadows fall and the day is won? Eloan thought carefully and replied, the balance must be restored by ensuring that kindness and love remain, even when darkness threatens. The stag nodded in approval, and the waters of serenity appeared in a crystal vial. Eloan took the vial and began her journey back to the kingdom. As Eloan returned to Florinwood, the kingdom was indeed starting to feel the chill of impending winter. With the 3 relics in hand, she rushed to the palace and brought them to her mother. Queen Amara, with Eloan's help, combined the relics and placed them on the crown of Eternal Spring. As the relics touched the crown, a brilliant light filled the palace. The crown's magic was restored, and the Eternal Spring returned to Florinwood. The gardens bloomed once more, the stream sparkled, and the kingdom was saved from the harsh winter. The people of Florinwood celebrated Eloan's bravery and determination. Queen Amara praised her daughter for her courage and pure heart, and Eloan was recognized as a true heroine of the kingdom. The story of Eloan and the crown of Eternal Spring was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the importance of preserving the magic of one's land. And so, the tale of Eloan and the crown of Eternal Spring became a beloved legend, a testament to the magic of selflessness and the beauty of a heart that shines brightly, even in the face of adversity. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and rolling hills, there was a village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was renowned for its serene beauty and the shimmering moonlit lake, a crystal-clear body of water that was said to glow softly under the light of the full moon. The villagers of Willowbrook lived in harmony, but there was one thing that remained a mystery, the legend of the moonlit lake. According to the legend, on rare moonlit nights, a hidden doorway beneath the lake's surface would reveal itself, leading to a realm of magic and wonder. It was said that this realm held a treasure that could grant a single wish to someone with a pure heart. In Willowbrook lived a young woman named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and her love for the natural world. She often spent her days tending to her garden and exploring the woods. Despite the tranquility of her life, Elara carried a deep wish in her heart. She hoped to find a way to heal her village's ancient oak tree, which had begun to wither and lose its vitality. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery light over the landscape, Elara decided to visit the moonlit lake. She had heard the stories from the elders and felt a strong sense of calling. With a lantern in hand and her heart filled with hope, she made her way to the lake. As she approached the water's edge, Elara noticed a soft, melodic tune coming from the lake. It was as if the moonlight itself was singing a lullaby. She carefully stepped onto a wooden dock that extended into the lake and gazed into the shimmering waters. To her amazement, the surface of the lake began to ripple, and a hidden doorway appeared, framed by glistening water lilies. Elara took a deep breath and stepped through the doorway, finding herself in a magical realm filled with glowing flowers, sparkling streams, and luminescent creatures. In the heart of this enchanted realm stood a magnificent palace made of shimmering crystal. The palace was surrounded by a lush garden with flowers that sang softly in the moonlight. As Elara approached the palace, she was greeted by a wise old moon fairy who floated gracefully before her. "Welcome, Elara," the moon fairy said with a gentle smile. "You have come seeking the treasure that can grant a wish. But before you can claim it, you must prove your worthiness by completing 3 trials." Elara nodded, determined to fulfill her wish for the village's ancient oak tree. The moon fairy explained the trials. First trial, the trial of wisdom. Elara was led to a serene glade where a large, ancient book lay open on a pedestal. The book's pages were filled with riddles that tested one's wisdom. Elara read the first riddle aloud. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "An echo." The book's pages turned, revealing the next trial. Second trial, the trial of courage. Elara was guided to a shadowy forest where she faced a series of illusions meant to test her bravery. Shadows took the form of her deepest fears. But Elara confronted them with a steady heart. She realized that the illusions were powerless against her determination and kindness. The illusions faded, and Elara passed the second trial. Third trial, the trial of compassion. For the final trial, Elara was led to a shimmering pond where she found a small, injured moon creature. The creature's light was dim, and it looked frail. Elara gently tended to the creature, soothing it with her kind words and healing it with her touch. The moon fairy appeared once more and, seeing Elara's compassion, nodded with approval. "You have completed all 3 trials," the moon fairy said. "You have proven your wisdom, courage, and compassion. The treasure you seek is yours." The moon fairy led Elara to a grand chamber within the palace where a glowing chest awaited her. Inside the chest was a radiant, crystal vial filled with a liquid that seemed to contain the light of 1,000 stars. The vial was labeled Essence of Renewal. Elara carefully took the vial and thanked the moon fairy. With the vial in hand, she returned to the moonlit lake and made her way back to Willowbrook. When Elara arrived at the village, she went straight to the ancient oak tree. She opened the vial and gently poured the essence of renewal over the tree's roots. As the liquid touched the soil, the tree began to shimmer and glow. Its branches, once withered, burst forth with new leaves and vibrant flowers. The village rejoiced at the sight of the revitalized oak tree. It became a symbol of hope and renewal for Willowbrook. Elara's selfless wish had brought new life to the village and its beloved tree. The tale of Elara and the moonlit lake became a cherished story in Willowbrook, a reminder of the magic that lies within a pure heart and the power of selfless wishes. And so, under the light of the moon and the stars, Willowbrook flourished, forever touched by the magic of the moonlit lake and the courageous heart of Elara. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by verdant meadows and sparkling streams, there was a charming tea house named the Enchanted Teapot. It was run by an elderly woman named Mrs. Willow, who was known throughout the land for her magical teas that could heal hearts, lift spirits, and even grant the occasional wish. The tea house was a place of warmth and wonder. The walls were adorned with colorful tapestries depicting whimsical scenes, and the shelves were lined with teapots and cups that seemed to hum softly when no one was watching. Mrs. Willow herself was a gentle soul with a twinkle in her eye and a kind word for every guest. One bright morning, a young girl named Eliza arrived at the tea house. Eliza was a curious and adventurous child, always exploring the world with a sense of wonder. She had heard tales of Mrs. Willow's extraordinary teas and was eager to see if the stories were true. As Eliza entered the tea house, she was greeted by the soothing aroma of herbs and spices. Mrs. Willow was behind the counter, carefully brewing a pot of tea. "Welcome, dear," she said with a warm smile. "What can I do for you today?" Eliza hesitated, then spoke with a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I've heard so much about your magical teas. I'd like to try one, if that's all right." Mrs. Willow's eyes sparkled. "Ah, a seeker of magic. Let me prepare something special for you." With practiced grace, Mrs. Willow selected a teapot made of emerald green porcelain and began to brew a tea with ingredients that Eliza couldn't quite identify. As the tea steeped, a faint glow emanated from the pot, and a gentle, melodic tune filled the air. "Here you are," Mrs. Willow said, pouring the tea into a delicate cup. "This is the tea of wishes. It is said to reveal the true desires of the heart." Eliza took a sip, and immediately, her eyes widened with surprise. The tea was unlike anything she had ever tasted, sweet and comforting, with a hint of something magical. As she continued to drink, she felt a sense of clarity and purpose that she had never experienced before. Suddenly, a soft, shimmering light filled the room. Eliza looked around, and to her amazement, the tea house began to transform. The walls became transparent, revealing a breathtaking landscape of rolling hills and sparkling lakes, as if the tea house itself had become a portal to another world. From the light emerged a gentle voice. "Greetings, Eliza. I am the spirit of the tea house. You have discovered a hidden realm of magic, and now you may make one wish, something that comes from the deepest part of your heart." Eliza was taken aback but quickly composed herself. She thought of her family, her friends, and the many things she wished for, but one wish stood out above all others. "I wish for a way to bring happiness and joy to those who need it most." The spirit of the tea house smiled. "A noble wish indeed. Your heart is pure, and your wish will be granted." With a wave of the spirit's hand, the magical landscape around Eliza began to shift and change. A beautiful, glowing tree appeared in the center of the tea house. Its branches were adorned with golden fruit that shimmered like stars. "This is the tree of joy," the spirit explained. "It will grant you the ability to share happiness with others. Each time you offer one of these golden fruits to someone in need, it will bring them a moment of joy and comfort." Eliza's heart swelled with gratitude. She picked a fruit from the tree and thanked the spirit. "I will do my best to use this gift wisely." As Eliza left the tea house, the magical world faded, and she found herself back in the cozy room of the Enchanted Teapot. Mrs. Willow was waiting with a knowing smile. "Remember, dear, the true magic lies not in the tea but in the kindness of your heart." Eliza returned to her village, carrying the golden fruit. She used it to bring joy to those around her, comforting a lonely elder, brightening the day of a sick child, and helping her friends through tough times. Each time, the golden fruit worked its magic, creating moments of happiness and light. News of Eliza's kindness spread throughout the land, and the village thrived with a newfound sense of community and joy. And although the enchanted tea house and the tree of joy remained a cherished secret between Eliza and Mrs. Willow, the spirit of magic and kindness continued to flourish wherever Eliza went. From then on, Eliza knew that the true essence of magic was found in the simple act of bringing happiness to others. And as the seasons changed, the village of Moonhaven was filled with laughter, love, and the warm glow of shared joy. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom bordered by lush meadows and towering mountains, there was a quaint village named Starling. The villagers cherished their tranquil life, but they held a secret hope for something magical. They believed in an ancient legend about a mystical artifact called the Silver Bell, which was said to grant one wish to whoever rang it under the Starry River's light. The Starry River was a shimmering stream that flowed through the kingdom, known for its beautiful starlight reflections. Every year, during the harvest moon, the river would glow with a radiant light, guiding those who sought the Silver Bell. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Elara. She had heard the legend of the Silver Bell and was fascinated by the tales of its magic. Elara's family was struggling, and her only wish was to find a way to bring prosperity and happiness to her loved ones. Determined to make her wish come true, she decided to embark on a quest to find the Silver Bell. The quest begins on the night of the harvest moon. Elara set off towards the Starry River. As she walked through the moonlit meadows, the stars above seemed to sparkle brighter, guiding her way. The air was crisp, and the gentle sound of the flowing river filled her with hope. When Elara reached the Starry River, she was mesmerized by the way its waters glowed with starlight. The river seemed to stretch endlessly, and she could see reflections of countless stars dancing on its surface. At the edge of the river, she noticed an old wooden bridge leading to a small, mystical island in the middle of the river. The enchanted bridge Elara crossed the bridge with care, and as she approached the island, she encountered a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius had a calm and knowing demeanor and greeted Elara with a warm smile. To find the Silver Bell, he said, you must complete 3 tasks. Only those with a pure heart and true intentions can succeed. The first task, the enchanted garden. Tiberius directed Elara to an enchanted garden on the island. The garden was filled with beautiful flowers, but they were wilting and losing their color. Elara noticed that the flowers needed water from the crystal fountain, which was hidden in the garden. Elara searched the garden and found the fountain covered in vines. She carefully cleared the vines and filled her small bottle with the sparkling water. As she watered the flowers, they began to bloom and regain their vibrant colors. The garden was soon filled with fragrant blossoms, and a golden path appeared leading her to the next task. The second task, the mysterious maze. Alara followed the golden path to a labyrinthine maze. The walls of the maze were covered in ivy, and the entrance was marked with a riddle: I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Alara thought hard and realized the answer was map. With the answer in mind, the maze's walls began to shift and open up, revealing a clear path through. Alara navigated through the maze with patience and careful observation, arriving at the exit. The third task, the heart of the forest. The final task led Alara to the heart of the forest, where an ancient oak tree stood with a hollow at its base. Inside the hollow was a small, golden key. Tiberius appeared and explained, "This key unlocks the chest where the silver bell rests, but it can only be found with a heart full of kindness." Alara held the key and reflected on her journey. She thought about how her kindness and determination had helped her complete the tasks. With a heart full of hope and love for her family, she approached a stone pedestal with a chest on it. The silver bell. Alara used the key to unlock the chest, and inside, she found the silver bell, shimmering with a soft, silvery light. She carefully took the bell and rang it gently. The sound was clear and melodious, echoing through the night and across the river. As the bell rang, a magical glow spread across the starry river, and the reflections of the stars grew brighter. The forest around her seemed to come alive with color and light. Tiberius appeared and congratulated her. "You have shown great heart and perseverance. Your wish for prosperity and happiness will be granted." The return to Starling. Alara returned to her village with the silver bell. The once dim and struggling village was transformed by the bell's magic. The fields flourished with crops, the village homes became warm and inviting, and the people were filled with joy and laughter. Alara's family was overjoyed, and the villagers celebrated with a grand feast. The story of Alara and the silver bell became a cherished tale in Starling, a reminder that with kindness and determination, even the most magical wishes could come true. And so, the silver bell continued to shine brightly, symbolizing hope and the power of a kind heart. The starry river remained a place of wonder, and Alara's story lived on, inspiring future generations to seek their own adventures and embrace the magic within their hearts. The end. Once upon a time, in a secluded kingdom nestled between misty mountains and sparkling lakes, there was a village named Eldergrove. Eldergrove was known for its peaceful way of life and the ancient forest that surrounded it. This forest was believed to be enchanted, and at its heart stood an old, mystical tree called the Whispering Oak. The tree was said to hold secrets and magic from times long past. In Eldergrove lived a young girl named Mira, known for her curiosity and kind heart. Mira often visited the Whispering Oak, listening to the gentle rustling of its leaves and the mysterious whispers that seemed to carry tales of old. She dreamed of discovering the true magic of the forest and often wondered if there was something more to the legends she had heard. One day, as Mira played near the Whispering Oak, she noticed something unusual: a small, wooden wand lying among the fallen leaves. The wand was intricately carved with ancient symbols and seemed to emit a faint, warm glow. Mira picked it up. And as she did, the wand began to hum softly. "Hello," a soft, melodic voice said from the wand. Startled but intrigued, Mira listened as the wand spoke again. "I am the Whispering Wand. I have been waiting for someone kind and brave to help me restore the magic of our forest." The wand explained that long ago, the forest was filled with magical creatures and powerful enchantments. However, over time, the magic had faded, and the creatures had disappeared. The wand had the power to revive the forest's magic, but it needed Mira's help to find 3 enchanted relics scattered throughout the forest. Determined to help, Mira set off on her quest. The wand guided her with soft whispers, leading her through the dense forest. Her first challenge was to find the silver acorn, which was hidden in the heart of the enchanted glade. As she entered the glade, Mira saw a beautiful scene: flowers of every color, butterflies fluttering in the sunlight, and a crystal-clear stream. The silver acorn was said to be guarded by a gentle spirit of the forest, who would only reveal it to someone pure of heart. Mira approached the center of the glade and found a small, glowing acorn nestled among the flowers. As she reached for it, a soft voice spoke from the flowers. To claim the silver acorn, you must answer this question. What is the one thing that grows by giving away? Mira thought for a moment and answered, happiness. The flowers glowed brightly, and the silver acorn appeared in her hand. Mira continued her journey, guided by the whispers of the wand. The next relic she needed to find was the crystal pendant, which was hidden in the depths of the Whispering Cavern. Upon reaching the cavern, Mira found herself in a maze of shimmering crystals that reflected light in dazzling patterns. The crystal pendant was said to be guarded by a wise old dragon who had lived in the cavern for centuries. Mira approached the dragon's lair and spoke to him with respect. "Wise dragon," Mira said, "I seek the crystal pendant to restore the magic of our forest. Will you help me?" The dragon, impressed by Mira's bravery and sincerity, agreed to help. To find the pendant, you must show your courage. Face your fears and trust in yourself. With the dragon's guidance, Mira navigated through the cavern, facing illusions of her deepest fears. With each challenge, she remained calm and focused, trusting in her own strength. Finally, she found the crystal pendant glowing softly among the crystals. With the silver acorn and the crystal pendant safely in her possession, Mira continued her journey. The final relic she needed to find was the golden leaf, which was said to be hidden in the highest branches of the Whispering Oak. Mira climbed the Whispering Oak, reaching its highest branches where she found a golden leaf glowing in the moonlight. As she touched the leaf, the Whispering Oak spoke in a voice full of warmth and gratitude. "You have found all 3 relics. Place them at the base of the tree, and the magic of the forest will be restored." Mira placed the silver acorn, crystal pendant, and golden leaf at the base of the Whispering Oak. The tree's branches shimmered, and a wave of light spread through the forest. Magical creatures began to reappear, and the forest came alive with vibrant colors and enchanting melodies. The Whispering Oak thanked Mira, and the wand, now glowing brightly, spoke once more. "You have brought back the magic of the forest and restored its harmony. You are a true friend of the forest." Mira returned to Eldergrove, where the village celebrated her bravery and the restoration of the forest's magic. The Whispering Oak stood tall and proud, its magic flourishing once more. Mira's name became a cherished part of the village's history, a symbol of courage, kindness, and the enduring power of belief. And so, under the canopy of the enchanted forest, the village of Eldergrove thrived, forever touched by the magic of the Whispering Wand and the girl who restored its wonder. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there lived a kind-hearted lantern keeper named Oliver. Every evening, Oliver would walk through the village, lighting the lanterns that lined the cobblestone streets. The lanterns were not ordinary, they were enchanted to glow with a soft, warm light that guided villagers safely through the night. Oliver took great pride in his work, for he knew that the lanterns held a special magic. One crisp autumn evening, as Oliver prepared to light the lanterns, he noticed a peculiar one that had been dim for weeks. It was a lantern of silver, with intricate patterns of stars and moons etched into its surface. Despite his efforts, its light remained weak and flickering. Concerned, Oliver decided to seek the wisdom of the village elder, a wise woman named Elda. Elda listened to Oliver's concerns and studied the lantern closely. "This lantern is special," she said, her eyes twinkling with ancient knowledge. "It is a key to the Starlit Path, a magical trail that appears only once every 100 years. The path leads to the heart of the stars, a place of great power and wonder. To reignite the lantern's magic, you must embark on a quest to find the heart." Determined to restore the lantern's glow and discover the Starlit Path, Oliver set off into the forest with a small pack of supplies. Guided by the soft light of the remaining lanterns, he ventured deeper into the woods until he reached a clearing where the air shimmered with stardust. In the center of the clearing stood an old stone archway covered in glowing ivy. The archway seemed to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic glow. Oliver approached and saw that the silver lantern fit perfectly into a notch at the base of the arch. With a deep breath, he placed the lantern into the notch. As he did, the archway lit up with a brilliant, starlit light, and a path of shimmering stars appeared before him. The path was illuminated with constellations that sparkled like diamonds, winding through the forest and leading towards a distant, glowing mountain. Trial 1: The Whispering Wind. The first part of the starlit path led Oliver to a meadow where a soft, whispering wind swirled around him. The wind carried a riddle that Oliver needed to solve to proceed. I dance without legs, I sing without a voice, I can be gentle or fierce, and I have no choice. What am I? Oliver thought carefully and realized the answer was the wind. As he spoke the answer aloud, the whispering wind calmed and formed a gentle breeze that guided him to the next part of the path. Trial 2: The Crystal Cavern. The second trial took Oliver to a cavern filled with sparkling crystals that reflected the starlight. The cavern was beautiful but also a bit confusing, with many paths and glittering tunnels. To continue, Oliver needed to find the right path that led to the next trial. In the center of the cavern, Oliver found a small, glowing crystal with an inscription that read, "Follow the light of the heart to find your way." He took out the silver lantern, which now glowed softly with starlight. Holding it high, he followed the lantern's light, which led him through the correct tunnel and out of the cavern. Trial 3: The Guardian of the Heart. The final trial brought Oliver to the base of the glowing mountain, where he met the Guardian of the Heart, a majestic creature with wings made of starlight and eyes that shone like the night sky. The Guardian spoke in a voice that echoed like the chimes of distant bells. To reach the heart of the stars, you must prove your worth by showing your purest intention. Why do you seek the heart? Oliver took a moment to think. I seek the heart of the stars to restore the magic of the lantern and bring light and guidance to my village. I wish to help others and share the beauty of this magic. The Guardian nodded, satisfied with Oliver's selfless answer. Your heart is true. The heart of the stars is yours to behold. With that, the Guardian led Oliver to the summit of the mountain. There, nestled among a bed of glowing flowers, was the heart of the stars, a radiant, pulsating gem that filled the air with a warm, soothing light. Oliver carefully took the heart and returned to the village, following the starlit path back to the clearing. He placed the heart into the silver lantern, and the lantern burst forth with a brilliant, magical glow. The light was now more vibrant and warm than ever before. Returning to his village, Oliver saw that the lanterns were now brighter, casting a golden light that filled the village with warmth and joy. The villagers gathered around, marveling at the renewed glow of their lanterns. Oliver shared his adventure and the story of the starlit path, and the villagers celebrated the magic that had been restored. And so, the tale of Oliver and the starlit path became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to share their light with others. The lanterns continued to shine brightly, guiding the villagers safely through the night and reminding them of the wondrous adventure that brought their world back to life. From that day on, every time the village lanterns glowed, they sparkled with the magic of the heart of the stars, and the legend of the starlit path was passed down through generations, inspiring countless others to follow their own paths of light and wonder. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met sapphire lakes, there was a mystical place known as the Whispering Forest. This forest was rumored to be enchanted, with trees that whispered secrets and a hidden crown that granted wishes. Many had ventured into the forest seeking its magic, but none had ever returned with the crown. In a small, peaceful village at the edge of the forest lived a brave young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her kindness and courage, and she had a special bond with the forest animals. Her greatest wish was to find the lost crown of the Whispering Forest, not for herself, but to help her ailing father, who had been bedridden for months. One crisp autumn morning, Ilara decided that it was time to venture into the Whispering Forest. She gathered supplies, including a lantern, some food, and a trusty map she had drawn based on old village tales. With a determined heart and a hopeful spirit, she set off towards the forest. As she entered the Whispering Forest, Ilara felt a shiver of excitement. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The air was filled with the soft rustling of leaves and the occasional whisper, as if the forest itself was alive and speaking in hushed tones. Ilara followed a narrow, winding path that seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the forest. The lantern's light flickered as if guiding her way. After a while, she reached a clearing where a magnificent old oak tree stood, its branches reaching towards the sky. Beneath the tree, a stone pedestal held an ornate book bound in shimmering green leaves. Curious, Elara approached the pedestal and opened the book. The pages were filled with ancient writing and illustrations of mystical creatures. As she read, she discovered that the book contained clues to finding the lost crown. According to the book, the crown was hidden in a secret glade protected by 3 trials. Determined to complete the trials, Elara continued her journey. The first trial was the trial of courage. She arrived at a dark, foreboding cave, where the entrance was guarded by a fierce-looking dragon with emerald scales. The dragon's eyes glowed with a fiery light, and it roared as Elara approached. Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. She knew that the dragon was not truly evil, but a guardian of the forest's magic. She spoke calmly and respectfully to the dragon, explaining her quest and her desire to help her father. The dragon, moved by her bravery and sincerity, allowed her to pass and gave her a golden feather as a token of approval. Elara thanked the dragon and continued on her way, the feather glowing softly in her hand. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Elara arrived at a serene pond with crystal-clear water. On the opposite side of the pond stood a wise old turtle with a glowing shell. The turtle presented Elara with a riddle: "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you cannot go outside. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle, thinking deeply about the nature of the clues she had encountered. After a moment, she realized the answer. "A keyboard," she said confidently. The wise turtle nodded and allowed Elara to cross the pond on a magical lily pad. As she crossed, the lily pad shimmered and left a trail of sparkling water. On the other side, she found a path that led to the final trial. The third trial was the trial of compassion. Elara reached a glade filled with injured and weary animals. The animals were in distress, and their suffering was evident. To pass this trial, Elara needed to help them by tending to their wounds and soothing their fears. Elara used her knowledge of herbs and her gentle touch to care for the animals. She made poultices from leaves and berries, and she spoke softly to comfort them. As she worked, the animals began to recover, and their gratitude was palpable. The glade started to glow with a soft, golden light, and Elara knew she had succeeded in this trial as well. With all 3 trials complete, Elara followed a hidden path revealed by the golden light. It led her to a hidden glade where the lost crown rested upon a bed of soft moss. The crown was adorned with sparkling jewels and seemed to radiate a gentle, warm light. Elara carefully took the crown and felt a surge of hope and joy. She knew that this magical item could help her father, and she thanked the forest for guiding her. As she made her way back through the whispering forest, the trees whispered words of encouragement and gratitude for her kindness. When Elara returned to her village, she placed the crown beside her father's bedside. The crown's magic began to work, and her father's health improved rapidly. The villagers were amazed and grateful, and they celebrated Elara's bravery and compassion. Elara's father soon recovered, and the village prospered with renewed hope and happiness. The Whispering Forest continued to thrive, and its magic remained a cherished part of the land. From that day on, Elara was known not only for her courage but for her kindness and selflessness. She often visited the Whispering Forest, which became a place of peace and inspiration for her and her village. And as for the lost crown, it was a symbol of the power of love and the magic that can be found in the heart of those who are willing to help others. And so, Elara lived happily ever after, always cherishing the lessons learned from her journey through the Whispering Forest. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by endless forests and rolling hills, there was a village where the people were known for their skill in crafting beautiful things. They made intricate tapestries, gleaming swords, and sparkling jewelry. But no creation was as revered as the enchanted crystal feather. The crystal feather was a shimmering piece of magic that hung in the village's main square. It was said to have come from a mystical bird called the moon phoenix, which lived deep in the forgotten woods. The feather had protected the village for centuries, keeping the land fertile and the rivers flowing. However, as time passed, the feather's light began to fade, and the crops started to wither. The village elders realized that the feather's magic was weakening, and without it, their village would soon fall into ruin. In that village lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was a quiet but brave soul, with a heart full of curiosity and adventure. She had always been fascinated by the crystal feather. Often gazing at it from her window, wondering what it must have been like to see the moon phoenix that had once blessed the village. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the feather's light dimmed even further, the village elder called for a meeting. "The feather's magic is nearly gone," he said gravely. "We must send someone to the forgotten woods to find the moon phoenix and ask for its help. But the path is dangerous, and none who have ventured there have returned." A murmur of fear rippled through the crowd. No one wanted to take on such a perilous journey. But Isla, despite the danger, stepped forward. "I will go," she said, her voice steady. "I will find the moon phoenix and bring back its magic to save our village." The villagers gasped, but the elder nodded solemnly. "Very well, Isla. You have a brave heart. Take this map. It shows the way to the heart of the forgotten woods. Beware of the challenges you may face, for the woods are full of tricks and illusions." With the map in hand, Isla set out at dawn the next day. The path into the forgotten woods was long and winding, filled with towering trees whose branches seemed to whisper secrets as she passed. As she ventured deeper, the sunlight dimmed, and the woods became a tangle of shadows and strange sounds. Her first challenge came when she reached the River of Reflection. The water was as clear as glass, but it was said that those who looked into its depths would see visions of their greatest fears. To cross the river, Isla had to paddle a small boat, but the water shimmered and seemed to call out to her. As she paddled, Isla saw her reflection ripple in the water, and soon the river began to show her visions of failure, of her village withering, her family losing hope, and herself lost forever in the woods. For a moment, fear gripped her heart, but Isla reminded herself of her mission. She closed her eyes and paddled faster, refusing to be swayed by the illusions. When she opened her eyes again, she had reached the far shore. The next challenge came when Isla encountered a great stone wall covered in vines. A riddle was etched into the stone: to pass, you must answer. What can fill a room but takes up no space? Isla furrowed her brow and thought hard. The vines on the wall twisted and tightened as if time were running out. But then she smiled, realizing the answer. "Light," she said confidently. The vines loosened, and the stone wall opened, revealing a hidden path that led further into the woods. Finally, after many days of travel, Isla reached the heart of the forgotten woods. There, in a clearing bathed in moonlight, she saw the moon phoenix. Its feathers glowed softly, silver and gold, with eyes as deep and bright as the stars. The bird was perched on a branch of a tree that sparkled like crystal. Isla approached carefully, her heart pounding. "Great moon phoenix," she called out, her voice trembling with awe, "our village is in danger. The crystal feather is losing its light. And we need your magic to restore it." The phoenix turned its wise eyes toward Isla and spoke, its voice as soft as a breeze but carrying the weight of ages. "I know of your village in the crystal feather," it said. "But the feather's power does not come from me alone. It comes from the hearts of those it protects. Over time, your people have forgotten the magic of kindness, courage, and unity, which once sustained the feather's light." Isla listened carefully. "Is there anything I can do to help restore it?" The moon phoenix nodded. "You have already shown courage and kindness by coming this far. I will give you a single feather, imbued with my magic. But it is not enough to simply return it to the village. You must remind your people of the true source of magic, within themselves." The phoenix extended one of its wings, and from it, a single feather floated down, glowing with a soft silver light. Isla caught it gently in her hands, feeling warmth and hope flow through her. "Thank you," she whispered. The journey back to the village was swift, as the phoenix's magic guided her safely through the forest's challenges. When Isla returned, she found the village in despair, the crops were failing, and the river was nearly dry. Without hesitation, she gathered the villagers and shared what the moon phoenix had told her. "The feather's magic comes from within us," she said. "We must work together, show kindness to one another, and have the courage to face our challenges. Only then will the feather's light return." At first, the villagers were skeptical. But as Isla placed the moon phoenix's feather next to the dim crystal feather, a soft glow began to spread through the village. Encouraged, the villagers started to help one another. They shared food, repaired each other's homes, and tended to the fields together. Slowly, the crystal feather began to shine brighter, its light growing stronger with each act of kindness and unity. By the end of the week, the village was once again full of life. The crops flourished, the river flowed freely, and the crystal feather sparkled like the stars above. The villagers celebrated Isla's bravery and wisdom, but she humbly reminded them that it was their own kindness and courage that had truly restored the feather's magic. And from that day forward, the people of the village never forgot the lesson of the crystal feather, that true magic comes from the hearts of those who believe in the power of kindness and unity. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where meadows shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars, there lay a hidden glen known as the Starlit Meadow. This meadow was famed for its radiant beauty, where flowers glowed softly in the moonlight, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of magic. It was said that the meadow held the power to heal and bring prosperity, guarded by the gentle yet formidable spirit of the meadow, Celeste. In the nearby village of Everspring, there lived a kind-hearted young girl named Leora. She was known for her exceptional healing abilities, which she used to care for her neighbors and their animals. Leora's mother, who had been a renowned healer, had passed down her knowledge to Leora, teaching her the secrets of herbs, potions, and the magic of the land. Despite her skills, Leora had always dreamed of visiting the Starlit Meadow, believing that its magical essence could enhance her healing and help her village thrive. One summer evening, the village fell into despair when a mysterious illness began spreading among the people and animals. The illness sapped their strength and made the crops wither. Desperate to save her village, Leora decided to seek the help of the Starlit Meadow, hoping that its magic might hold the cure. As night fell, Leora set off on her journey, guided by the light of the moon and the twinkling stars above. She followed a winding path through the Whispering Woods, a forest known for its ancient trees and mysterious sounds. The woods were alive with magic, but also with challenges for those who sought their heart's desire. The first challenge Leora encountered was the enchanted river, its waters sparkling with an otherworldly light. The river was known for its trickery, creating illusions to confuse travelers. The river's guardian, a wise old turtle named Thaddeus, greeted her. To cross the enchanted river, Thaddeus said, "You must answer a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Leora listened intently as Thaddeus asked, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Leora thought for a moment, then smiled as the answer came to her. "A piano," she said confidently. Thaddeus nodded in approval. "You have answered correctly. The path is yours to cross." The river parted, revealing stepping stones that led Leora safely to the other side. She continued her journey, reaching the edge of the Starlit Meadow just as dawn began to break. The meadow was even more breathtaking than she had imagined, bathed in the gentle glow of the first light of day. At the center of the meadow stood a magnificent, ancient tree known as the Star Oak. Its branches were adorned with shimmering leaves, and its roots seemed to pulse with magical energy. Celeste, the spirit of the meadow, appeared in a form of radiant light, her presence calming and warm. "Welcome, Leora," Celeste said. "I know why you have come. To help your village, you must face a trial of the heart. Only those with true compassion and a selfless spirit can harness the meadow's magic." Celeste led Leora to a beautiful crystal pool at the heart of the meadow. The pool was known to reflect not just one's image but their true nature. Leora looked into the pool and saw herself, but surrounded by the suffering of her village. She saw their pain and their hope, reflecting the urgency and importance of her quest. Celeste spoke softly. To gain the meadow's aid, you must show that you seek help not for your own gain but to truly heal and uplift others. Leora took a deep breath and spoke from her heart. I seek the meadow's magic to save my village. They are suffering, and I want to use every bit of my strength and knowledge to bring them relief. My only wish is to help them. The pool's water sparkled, and the reflection began to shift, showing a vision of the village being healed and flourishing. Celeste smiled, seeing the sincerity in Leora's heart. You have proven yourself worthy. The Starlit Meadows magic is now yours to wield. Celeste touched Leora's hands with her light, and the meadow's magic was infused into a vial of liquid starlight. This elixir will heal the illness and restore the vitality of your land. With the vial in hand, Leora made her way back to Everspring. The villagers greeted her with hope and anticipation. She carefully administered the elixir to the sick and their animals, and soon, the effects of the illness began to wane. The crops, once withered, started to revive, and the village began to flourish once more. Leora's bravery and the magic of the Starlit Meadow saved her village, and the tale of her journey became a cherished story told for generations. The meadow remained a place of wonder and healing, visited by those who sought to make a difference with pure hearts and noble intentions. And so, the village of Everspring thrived, bathed in the light of the stars and the magic of the Starlit Meadow, always remembering the brave young healer who had saved them with courage and compassion. In the heart of the land of Eldoria, there was a bustling village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers. The village was known for its colorful markets, lively festivals, and its most treasured possession, an ancient compass with magical powers. This compass was said to be able to find anything that was truly lost, guiding its bearer through the darkest forests and across the highest mountains. The compass belonged to a young and brave girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. She lived with her grandmother, who had been the village's storyteller and guardian of the compass before passing it on to Lyra. The compass had always been Lyra's favorite possession, and she would often hold it close, marveling at its intricate design and the way its needle seemed to shimmer with a soft, golden light. One sunny morning, as Lyra was helping her grandmother with the daily chores, a mysterious stranger arrived in the village. The stranger, cloaked in a dark, hooded robe, was in search of something that had been lost for a long time. He spoke in hushed tones and carried an air of urgency. The village elders gathered to discuss his request, and soon they turned to Lyra, knowing she had the enchanted compass. The stranger revealed that he was a scholar from the distant kingdom of Arander, which had vanished many years ago under mysterious circumstances. Legend spoke of Arander as a land of incredible beauty and magic, but it had disappeared from maps and memory alike. The scholar believed that the lost kingdom held a great treasure, one that could bring prosperity and peace to all of Eldoria if found. Lyra, feeling a deep sense of responsibility in adventure, agreed to help the scholar. She took the enchanted compass and set out with him on a journey to find the lost kingdom of Arander. Their path would take them through the vast and mysterious Emerald Forest, across the stormy peaks, and over the shadowy moorlands. As Lyra and the scholar ventured into the Emerald Forest, they were greeted by a forest spirit named Ira. Ira was a graceful being with glowing eyes and wings like leaves. She warned them that the forest was enchanted and that they would need to solve a series of riddles to proceed safely. The first riddle was, I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Lyra thought for a moment and answered, an echo. Ira smiled and allowed them to pass. The forest paths twisted and turned, but with the compass's guidance and Ira's help, they navigated through safely. Next, they reached the stormy peaks, where fierce winds and lightning made the journey treacherous. Here, they encountered a wise old dragon named Thorn, who guarded the entrance to the peaks. Thorn demanded that they prove their bravery and kindness before he would let them through. Lyra showed her bravery by standing firm against the storm and her kindness by helping a small creature in need, an injured phoenix. The phoenix, grateful for her help, offered Lyra a magical feather that would protect them from the storms. With the feather's protection, they crossed the peaks and reached the shadowy moorlands. The moorlands were shrouded in mist and darkness, and it was here that they faced their greatest challenge. The compass's needle spun wildly, unable to find its direction. The air was thick with enchantments that distorted reality. In the heart of the moorlands, they found an ancient stone altar. The scholar revealed that this altar was a key to finding Earander, but it required a specific crystal to activate. They had learned of this crystal during their journey but had not yet discovered its location. Lyra, using her intuition and the clues she had gathered, realized that the crystal must be hidden within the enchanted compass itself. She carefully opened the compass and found a hidden compartment containing the crystal. Placing the crystal on the altar, Lyra and the scholar watched as the ground began to tremble, and a pathway of light emerged from the moorlands. Following the path, they arrived at the entrance to the lost kingdom of Earander. The kingdom was breathtaking, a place of magnificent palaces, lush gardens, and rivers of sparkling water. The magic of Earander had been preserved in a time bubble, hidden from the world to protect its treasures. The people of Earander welcomed Lyra and the scholar, grateful for their return. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Isolde, thanked Lyra for her bravery and compassion. She revealed that the true treasure of Earander was not gold or jewels, but the knowledge and wisdom of its people. With their guidance, the kingdom shared its magical knowledge with Eldoria, bringing prosperity and peace to the land. Lyra and the scholar returned to their village as heroes, and the enchanted compass was placed in the village's Hall of Honor, a symbol of the journey that saved a lost kingdom and strengthened the bonds between lands. From that day on, Eldoria thrived with the magic and wisdom of Earander. Lyra continued to explore new adventures, knowing that even the most mysterious of journeys could lead to wonderful discoveries. And so, the tale of Lyra and the lost kingdom of Earander became a cherished story, reminding all who heard it that courage, kindness, and a touch of magic could uncover even the most hidden treasures. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sun shone brighter than gold and the river sparkled like diamonds, there was a tiny village called Willowbrook. The village was named after a grand willow tree that stood at its heart. This tree was no ordinary tree, it was ancient, wise, and could whisper secrets to those who listened closely. In Willowbrook, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness, her curious nature, and most of all, her love for the willow tree. Every day after her chores, she would sit beneath the tree's sweeping branches, listening to its whispers. Though no one else seemed to hear the tree, Elara could understand its gentle murmurs as if it were speaking directly to her. One afternoon, as Elara sat beneath the tree's shade, the willow whispered something different. Elara, it sighed, a great danger is coming to the kingdom. A shadow will fall upon the land, and only you can prevent it. Elara's heart pounded with fear and excitement. But I am just a girl, she whispered back, her voice trembling. How can I stop a shadow? The willow's leaves rustled softly. You have a pure heart and a brave spirit. Seek the hidden key beneath my roots, and you will find your way. With determination in her heart, Elara dug beneath the tree's roots, her fingers searching through the cool earth. Soon, she found the small, golden key, its surface etched with intricate patterns. Holding the key tightly, Elara asked, "What does this key unlock?" "The door to the hidden realm," the willow replied. "Follow the river until it forks, and there you will find a secret path. The key will guide you." Elara knew there was no time to waste. She packed a small satchel with some bread, cheese, and a flask of water, then set off toward the river. As she walked, she could feel the key growing warmer in her hand, almost as if it were alive, urging her forward. After several hours, Elara reached the fork in the river. Just as the willow had said, a narrow, overgrown path led away from the water's edge, hidden by the thick underbrush. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the path. The forest grew darker as she ventured deeper, the trees closing in around her. But Elara pressed on, her courage bolstered by the key's warmth. Finally, she reached a clearing where an ancient stone door stood, half buried in ivy and moss. Elara held up the key, and as she did, the door began to glow with a soft, golden light. The key fit perfectly into a small keyhole in the center of the door. As she turned it, the door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase that led deep underground. With her heart in her throat, Alara descended the stairs. The air grew cooler, and the sound of her footsteps echoed off the stone walls. At the bottom of the stairs, she entered a vast chamber filled with strange, shimmering light. In the center of the chamber stood a tall, shadowy figure. Its form was indistinct, shifting like smoke, and its eyes glowed with an eerie red light. Alara knew at once that this was the shadow the willow had warned her about. "Who dares enter my domain?" the shadow hissed, its voice like the rustling of dead leaves. "I am Alara of Willowbrook," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "I have come to stop you from spreading darkness across the kingdom." The shadow laughed, a sound that chilled Alara to the bone. "You are but a child. How do you intend to stop me?" Alara held up the golden key, and as she did, the chamber was filled with a brilliant light. The shadow recoiled, hissing in anger. "This key was given to me by the Whispering Willow," Alara said, her voice strong. "It holds the power of the ancient forest, and it will banish you from this land." With those words, the light from the key grew even brighter, filling the chamber with warmth and hope. The shadow shrieked in pain, its form twisting and shrinking until it was nothing more than a wisp of smoke. With a final, desperate cry, the shadow was sucked into the key, and the chamber fell silent. Alara stood alone in the chamber, her heart pounding with relief. The key, now cool in her hand, had returned to its normal state. She knew the danger had passed, and the kingdom was safe once more. When Alara returned to Willowbrook, the villagers were amazed by her bravery. The Whispering Willow greeted her with a gentle rustle of its leaves, its whispers full of pride and gratitude. From that day on, Alara was known as the Guardian of the Willow, the girl who had saved the kingdom from darkness. She continued to visit the willow every day, listening to its wise whispers and ensuring that the peace she had fought for would last. And so, the kingdom of Willowbrook flourished, bathed in the golden light of the sun, free from the shadow that had once threatened its beauty. And Alara, the brave and kind-hearted girl, lived happily ever after. In a distant land, nestled between the peaks of the Misty Mountains and the edge of the enchanted forest, there was a kingdom known as the Silver Glade. This kingdom was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, with silver streams flowing through lush meadows and trees that shimmered like diamonds under the sunlight. The heart of the kingdom was a majestic palace where King Cedric and Queen Alara ruled with wisdom and kindness. One day, the kingdom faced a grave threat. A dark sorcerer named Malachar, who dwelled in the Shadow Caves, coveted the magic of the Silver Glade and sought to claim it for himself. He had cast a spell that caused the silver streams to run dry and the trees to lose their sparkle. The once vibrant kingdom began to wither, and despair spread among the people. King Cedric, desperate to save his kingdom, consulted his wise advisor, the elderly wizard Alaric. Alaric revealed that the only way to restore the kingdom's magic was to find the Crystal of Light, a powerful gem hidden in the heart of the enchanted forest. However, the crystal was guarded by a series of mystical challenges that tested the heart and courage of those who sought it. Determined to save his kingdom, King Cedric announced a quest to find the Crystal of Light. The brave and kind-hearted Princess Aeliana, the king's daughter, volunteered to undertake the journey. She was known throughout the kingdom for her bravery and kindness, and her parents reluctantly agreed, trusting her to succeed where others might falter. With a heart full of hope and a sword of silver for protection, Aeliana set out into the enchanted forest. The forest was magical and alive with mysterious creatures. As she ventured deeper, she encountered her first challenge. Challenge 1. The Trial of the Golden Deer. Aeliana came upon a beautiful clearing where a golden deer with antlers that glowed like the sun stood by a crystal-clear pond. The deer spoke in a gentle voice, "To pass this trial, you must show your true heart. I am in search of a rare herb that will help heal my injured fawn. Will you assist me?" Aeliana agreed and, guided by the deer, searched the forest for the herb. Her kindness and patience led her to find the herb and return it to the golden deer. The deer, in gratitude, allowed her to pass and bestowed upon her a golden acorn, saying, "This acorn will light your path when darkness falls." Aeliana continued her journey, and as dusk approached, she encountered the second challenge. Challenge 2, the trial of the enchanted bridge. In the fading light, she came upon an ancient bridge made of shimmering, woven vines. As she crossed it, the bridge began to sway and tremble. An ethereal voice spoke from the shadows, "To cross, you must confront your deepest fears." Eliana was frightened but took a deep breath, focusing on the love she had for her kingdom and her determination to save it. As she walked across the swaying bridge, her courage and inner strength held the bridge steady, and she reached the other side safely. The final challenge lay ahead as she approached a grand, ancient tree at the heart of the forest. Challenge 3, the trial of the ancient tree. The ancient tree, known as the Elder Oak, had a face carved into its trunk and spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "To retrieve the crystal of light, you must answer my riddle," said the tree. The riddle was, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Eliana thought carefully and replied, "A map." The Elder Oak's face brightened, and it revealed a hidden compartment within its trunk, containing a radiant crystal. The crystal of light sparkled with an intense, pure light. The tree said, "You have proven your worth. Take the crystal and restore your kingdom." With the crystal of light in hand, Eliana made her way back to the silver glade. As she approached, the crystal's light began to shine brightly, revitalizing the silver streams and restoring the sparkle to the trees. The kingdom's magic was reborn, and joy returned to the people. King Cedric and Queen Alara welcomed Eliana with pride and relief. The kingdom celebrated her bravery and kindness, and Malakar's dark magic was dispelled, banishing him from the land. To honor the bravery of Princess Eliana and the return of the kingdom's magic, the Silver Glade held a grand festival, where the skies were lit with fireworks, and the silver streams flowed with renewed brilliance. The crystal of light was placed in a sacred chamber within the palace, serving as a symbol of hope and resilience. Princess Eliana's journey became a cherished tale told throughout the kingdom, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that resides in the heart of those who dare to dream and act selflessly. And so, the Silver Glade thrived once more, bathed in light and laughter, as its people lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills and a sparkling river, there lived a girl named Alara. Alara had a heart full of dreams and a mind full of stories. She loved reading books about faraway lands, brave heroes, and magical creatures. Her favorite place in the entire world was the little bookshop at the corner of the village square, run by a kind old man named Mr. Finch. One rainy afternoon, Alara was walking home from the bookshop, her arms full of new books to read. She didn't mind the rain. It felt like the world was wrapping her in a cool, gentle hug. As she walked past the old oak tree at the edge of the village, she noticed something curious. A colorful umbrella, bright as a rainbow, was hanging from one of its branches. Alara had never seen such a beautiful umbrella before. Its handle was shaped like a golden dragon, and the canopy was covered in stars and moons that seemed to twinkle even in the dim light. Feeling a mix of curiosity and excitement, Alara reached up and took the umbrella from the tree. The moment she touched it, she felt a warm, tingling sensation travel from her fingers all the way down to her toes. She opened the umbrella, and something amazing happened. Instead of rain falling from the sky, the drops turned into tiny sparkling lights, swirling around her like fireflies. Alara laughed with delight and twirled around, watching the lights dance. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke, "Greetings, young one. You found my umbrella." Alara looked around, startled, and saw a tiny figure standing on one of the tree's branches. It was a small, silver-haired fairy with wings that shimmered like a dragonfly's. She wore a dress made of petals and had the brightest eyes Alara had ever seen. "Who are you?" Alara asked, her voice full of wonder. "My name is Lyra," the fairy replied. "This is my magical umbrella. It has the power to take its holder to any place their heart desires." Alara's eyes widened. "Any place? Even places in my storybooks?" Lyra nodded with a smile. "Yes, anywhere your imagination can take you. But remember, the umbrella chooses the heart it believes is kind and true." Today, it chose you. Elara's heart raced with excitement. Can I try it? Can we go on an adventure right now? Lyra fluttered down and sat on the umbrella's handle. Of course. Where would you like to go first? Elara thought for a moment. I want to visit a place with dragons and castles, like the ones in my favorite stories. Lyra nodded and waved her hand. The umbrella began to glow, and before Elara knew it, the ground beneath her feet disappeared, replaced by clouds. They were flying through the sky, the village growing smaller and smaller below them. The clouds parted, and Elara gasped at the sight that lay before her. They had arrived at a beautiful land filled with rolling green hills, majestic castles with high towers, and dragons soaring through the sky. One dragon, in particular, caught her eye. It was a magnificent creature with scales that shimmered like emeralds and eyes that glowed like the sun. The dragon spotted Elara and Lyra and flew over, landing gently in front of them. "Hello, little travelers," the dragon said in a deep, rumbling voice. "My name is Emerald. Welcome to Dragon's Hollow." Elara couldn't believe her eyes or ears. "It's wonderful to meet you, Emerald. This place is more beautiful than I ever imagined." Emerald chuckled. "Would you like a ride? There's no better way to see Dragon's Hollow than from the sky." Elara nodded eagerly. Lyra flew up to sit on Emerald's head, and Elara climbed onto the dragon's back. With a powerful flap of his wings, Emerald took off into the sky. They soared over sparkling lakes, lush forests, and fields of wildflowers. Elara felt like she was in one of her storybooks, living out the adventures she had always dreamed of. They visited a castle where a kind queen lived. The queen welcomed them and offered Elara a feast with delicious cakes and fruits she had never tasted before. After the feast, the queen showed Elara her collection of ancient books, each one filled with tales of magic and wonder. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Elara knew it was time to return home. She thanked Emerald, Lyra, and the queen for the incredible day. Lyra took her hand and led her back to the magical umbrella. "Will I ever see you again?" Elara asked, her heart a little heavy with the thought of leaving. Lyra smiled warmly. "As long as you have the umbrella, you can visit any time. Just hold it tight, and think of where you want to go." With one last wave to Emerald and the queen, Elara closed the umbrella. In an instant, she was back by the old oak tree in her village, the rain still falling softly around her. The umbrella was still in her hand, its stars and moon sparkling in the dim light. Elara hurried home, her heart full of joy and her mind buzzing with new stories to tell. She knew that from now on, any time she wanted to visit a faraway land or meet a magical creature, all she had to do was open her magical umbrella. And so, Elara's days were filled with the most amazing adventures. She traveled to enchanted forests, met talking animals, and explored castles made of ice. She always returned home with a new story to share and a smile on her face. The villagers often wondered where she got her incredible tales, but Elara kept the secret of the magical umbrella close to her heart, knowing that some things are even more wonderful when they remain a mystery. As for Lyra and Emerald, they became Elara's dearest friends, always ready to join her on a new journey whenever she needed them. And the umbrella, with its dragon-shaped handle and starry canopy, remained by her side, a symbol of the Once upon a time, in a land where the moon was always full and bright, there was a small village nestled in the heart of the Whispering Forest. This village was known as Luminera, famous for its dazzling moonlit nights and the magical lanterns that floated through the sky, carrying wishes and dreams to the stars. The lanterns were a gift from the moon goddess, Selene, who had blessed the villagers with the ability to send their wishes into the night. Each lantern was a delicate, glowing orb that shimmered with moonlight. The villagers believed that as long as the lanterns flew high, the moon would remain bright and the village would be safe from darkness. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. She loved everything about the lanterns and often spent hours preparing them, decorating them with intricate designs and writing wishes on their delicate surfaces. Mira's greatest wish was to discover the source of the magical light that kept their lanterns glowing so beautifully. Her curiosity had always been strong. and she dreamt of meeting the moon goddess herself. One evening, as the village prepared for the annual moon festival, a dark cloud passed over the moon. The sky darkened, and the lanterns, which usually floated with ease, began to flicker and falter. The villagers were alarmed. Without the moon's light, the village would be plunged into darkness. Desperate to restore the light, Mira decided to venture into the forest, hoping to find a way to bring back the moon's glow. She had heard ancient tales of a hidden glade where the moon goddess would come down to earth to restore the light if ever it was lost. Mira packed a small bag with essentials, a lantern she had made herself, a map of the Whispering Forest, and a silver locket her grandmother had given her for luck. With a deep breath, she set off into the forest, guided only by the faint glow of her lantern and the soft light of the moon that still peeked through the clouds. The forest was alive with sounds, rustling leaves, the call of distant owls, and the whispering wind. Mira walked for hours, following the winding paths marked on her map. As the night grew darker, her lantern's light dimmed, and she felt the weight of her task pressing on her shoulders. But Mira was determined. She knew she had to find the glade to save her village. Suddenly, the forest opened up to reveal a clearing bathed in soft, silver light. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient stone pedestal with a shimmering, empty lantern perched on top. Mira approached cautiously, her heart racing with hope. "Welcome, Mira," a gentle voice echoed through the clearing. Mira turned to see a figure bathed in moonlight, Selene, the moon goddess herself. Her presence was both serene and powerful, her long hair flowing like the light of the moon. "I'm here to restore the light," Mira said, her voice trembling slightly. "The lanterns are fading, and the village is in darkness." Selene smiled warmly. "You have a brave heart, Mira. The lanterns draw their light from the very essence of the moon. But tonight, the light has been dimmed by a shadow that has stolen the moon's radiance. Only someone pure of heart can help us find it and restore the balance." The moon goddess then handed Mira the empty lantern from the pedestal. "This lantern holds the essence of the moon. You must fill it with moonlight by finding the lost piece of the moon that was taken by the shadow." Mira nodded, taking the lantern with care. "How will I find it?" Selene pointed toward a distant, dark part of the forest. "Follow the path of the stars. They will guide you to where the shadow hides." With the lantern in hand, Mira ventured toward the dark forest, where the stars above seemed to flicker more brightly. As she walked, she noticed the stars forming a trail, guiding her deeper into the shadows. The path was filled with tangled vines and eerie sounds, but Mira followed the starry trail with unwavering determination. At last, she reached a hidden cave, its entrance guarded by dark, swirling mist. Mira took a deep breath and stepped inside. The cave was dark, but the stars above continued to guide her, leading her to a small, glowing orb trapped in a web of shadows. The orb was pulsating with a faint, silver light, the very essence of the moon. As Mira approached, the shadows grew thicker, trying to keep the orb from her reach. But Mira's lantern, glowing softly with hope and courage, shone brighter as she held it up. The light from the lantern began to push back the shadows, illuminating the cave. With a final burst of determination, Mira reached out and touched the glowing orb. The shadows recoiled, and the orb floated gently into her hands. The moment she grasped it, the cave filled with a radiant, moonlit glow. The essence of the moon was restored to the lantern. Mira hurried back to the clearing, where Selene waited. As she approached, she placed the orb into the empty lantern. The lantern glowed with a brilliant light, and the clearing was bathed in a warm, silver radiance. Selene smiled with approval. "You have restored the light, Mira. The moon's radiance is returned, and the lanterns will once again shine brightly for your village." The moon goddess waved her hand, and a soft breeze carried the light of the lantern up into the sky. The clouds parted, and the moon shone brightly once more. The lanterns in Luminara began to glow, floating gracefully into the night sky, carrying the villagers' wishes and dreams. Mira returned to her village, greeted with cheers and celebration. The moonlit night was more beautiful than ever, and the lanterns shone with renewed brilliance. Myra's bravery and pure heart had saved the village, and she had fulfilled her greatest wish. She had met the moon goddess and restored the light. From that night on, Myra was known not just as a village girl, but as the keeper of the lanterns, a symbol of hope and courage for all who looked up at the moonlit sky. And so, the village of Luminera continued to thrive under the gentle glow of the moon, its lanterns floating high, guided by the light of a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush and magical forest, there was a small village called Eldertree. Eldertree was known for its breathtaking beauty and its people's harmonious lives. The village was surrounded by towering trees, sparkling streams, and fields of wildflowers. But what made Eldertree truly special was an ancient, enchanted mirror that was said to hold great magic. The mirror was kept in a grand, ivy-covered tower at the edge of the village. It was a family heirloom of the village's kind and wise leader, Elder Merrick. According to legend, the mirror had the power to reveal one's deepest desires and grant one true wish if the heart was pure. One evening, a young girl named Amara, who lived on the outskirts of the village with her mother, heard about the mirror's magic. Amara was known for her kindness and curiosity. She had always dreamed of exploring the world beyond Eldertree and helping others. Her heart ached to see her mother, who had fallen ill and needed special herbs that only grew in distant lands. Determined to help her mother and explore beyond her home, Amara decided to seek out the enchanted mirror. She believed it could grant her a wish to find the herbs her mother needed. With a small satchel of supplies and a hopeful heart, she set out towards the ivy-covered tower. The journey to the tower was not easy. Amara had to navigate through dense forests, cross babbling brooks, and climb steep hills. Along the way, she encountered various creatures of the forest. A wise old owl perched on a branch gave her directions, and a mischievous squirrel offered her a magical acorn for good luck. Finally, after a long and arduous journey, Amara reached the grand tower. The door was intricately carved with symbols of the forest and was slightly ajar. She entered cautiously and climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the tower. At the summit, the enchanted mirror stood framed in gold and silver, its surface shimmering with a soft, moonlit glow. Amara approached the mirror and gazed into it. Her reflection appeared clear and radiant, but the mirror did not reveal her deepest desires immediately. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the room. "Welcome, Amara. I am the spirit of the mirror. You have come with a pure heart, but to unlock the mirror's magic, you must prove your bravery and selflessness." Amara took a deep breath and spoke. "I wish to find the herbs needed to heal my mother and to explore the world beyond Eldertree. How can I prove my bravery?" The spirit of the mirror materialized as a shimmering figure of light. To gain the mirror's magic, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom. Only then will the mirror grant your wish. Amara agreed, and the spirit of the mirror revealed the first task. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, there is a hidden cave. Inside, you must retrieve a golden feather from the mythical Firebird. The Firebird is fierce but will not harm those who approach with respect. With determination, Amara set off towards the Whispering Woods. The forest was dense and dark, but she remembered the directions given by the wise owl. She finally found the cave, and inside, the Firebird perched on a high ledge, its feathers glowing like flames. Amara spoke gently to the Firebird, explaining her quest and asking for the golden feather. The Firebird, sensing her sincerity, allowed Amara to take one of its feathers. She thanked the Firebird and carefully made her way back to the tower with the feather. The spirit of the mirror was pleased and revealed the second task. In the Valley of Echoes, there is a hidden spring guarded by a giant, friendly turtle. You must convince the turtle to let you draw water from the spring, which will be necessary for the final task. Amara traveled to the Valley of Echoes, where she found the giant turtle by the spring. The turtle was wise and ancient, and it questioned Amara about her intentions. She spoke from the heart, sharing her story and her desire to help her mother. The turtle, moved by her compassion, allowed her to draw water from the spring. With the water and the golden feather in hand, Amara returned to the tower for the final task. The spirit of the mirror presented the last challenge. In the Garden of Night, you must find the moonflower, which blooms only under the light of the full moon. The moonflower will help you make a potion that will grant your wish. Under the light of the full moon, Amara entered the Garden of Night, a place filled with glowing flowers and gentle creatures. She searched diligently and found the moonflower in full bloom. She carefully collected its petals and made her way back to the tower. The spirit of the mirror was impressed by Amara's courage, kindness, and wisdom. You have completed the tasks and proven your worth. Place the golden feather, the water from the spring, and the moonflower petals into the mirror's frame. Amara did as instructed, and the mirror's surface shimmered brightly. The mirror spoke, "Your wish shall be granted." But remember, true magic lies not just in what you receive but in the journey and the love you give. The mirror's light enveloped Amara, and she felt a surge of warmth and strength. When she returned to her village, she found that the herbs her mother needed had appeared magically in her garden. Her mother began to recover, and the village celebrated Amara's bravery and selflessness. From that day on, Amara continued to explore and help others, carrying the lessons of the enchanted mirror with her. The village of Eldertree thrived, and the story of Amara and the enchanted mirror of moonlight became a cherished tale, reminding everyone of the magic that lies in courage, kindness, and the journey of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense forest, there was a hidden library known only to a few. This library was unlike any other. It was said to be enchanted, with books that could come to life and stories that could whisk readers away on magical adventures. The library was protected by an ancient spell, and only those with pure hearts and a thirst for knowledge could find it. The guardian of this magical library was an elderly librarian named Alaric. With a long silver beard and wise eyes, Alaric had spent his life ensuring that the library's secrets were kept safe. He loved the library dearly and took great care of its countless books and scrolls. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Alara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the forest, stumbled upon a mysterious map. The map was old and worn, but it depicted the path to the hidden library. Alara had always loved stories and dreamed of finding a place where magical tales came to life. Driven by her curiosity, she decided to follow the map. As Alara ventured into the forest, she encountered various magical creatures, glowing fireflies, talking squirrels, and wise old owls, all guiding her along the path. After a long journey, she finally arrived at the hidden library, its towering shelves and ancient tomes shining with a soft, welcoming glow. The library's doors creaked open as Alara approached, revealing a vast interior filled with shelves of books that seemed to shimmer with enchantment. Alara was awestruck as she wandered through the library, marveling at the magical aura that surrounded her. Alaric, the librarian, noticed her and welcomed her with a warm smile. "Welcome, young one," he said in a gentle voice. "It is rare to see a visitor with a heart so full of wonder and curiosity. What brings you to our enchanted library?" Alara, her eyes wide with amazement, replied, "I found this map and followed it here. I've always dreamed of finding a place where stories come to life. Can you tell me more about this place?" Alaric nodded. "This library holds countless tales from across the realms, and some of them have a life of their own. But not everyone who enters can interact with the magic within these walls. It requires a special kind of bravery and kindness." Alara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I want to learn more and experience the magic. What can I do?" Alaric smiled. "There is a special book in this library that has been waiting for someone like you. It is called the Book of Wonders. To find it, you must solve a riddle and demonstrate the qualities of a true hero." He handed Alara a golden key and said, "This key will open the door to the Book of Wonders, but first, you must solve this riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Alara thought for a moment and then replied, "A map." "Very good," Alaric said. "Now, follow the path of the golden light to find the door. Use the key to unlock it." Alara followed the golden light that seemed to guide her through the library's endless corridors. She finally reached a large, ornate door with intricate carvings of mythical creatures. With a deep breath, she used the key to unlock it. The door opened to reveal a magnificent room bathed in a golden glow. In the center of the room stood the Book of Wonders, resting on a pedestal surrounded by a soft, shimmering light. Elara approached the book and opened it gently. As she did, the book's pages began to turn on their own, revealing stories of brave heroes, magical lands, and wondrous adventures. The room filled with the sounds of enchanting music, and images from the book came to life, swirling around Elara like a vivid dream. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room. "Elara, you have shown great curiosity and bravery. The magic of this library is now yours to explore. But remember, true magic lies not just in the stories but in the heart of the reader." Elara spent hours exploring the magical tales, meeting mythical creatures, and embarking on incredible adventures. She realized that the real magic came from the power of imagination and the joy of discovering new worlds through stories. When Elara finally left the library, she felt a sense of fulfillment and wonder. Alaric bade her farewell with a knowing smile. "You have proven yourself worthy, Elara. The library will always be here for you, and its magic will be a part of you." As Elara returned to her village, she shared the tales and magic she had experienced with everyone. The library's enchantment continued to inspire and delight, and Elara's stories became legendary among the villagers. And so, the hidden library remained a beacon of wonder and imagination, waiting for the next curious soul to discover its magic and embark on a journey of their own. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled high in the mountains, there lived a young princess named Elara. Unlike other princesses, Elara was not content with a life of luxury and grand banquets. She was curious, adventurous, and had a heart full of wonder. Her favorite time of day was dusk when the first stars began to twinkle in the evening sky. She loved to sit by her window, watching as the stars slowly filled the sky, dreaming of what lay beyond the mountains. One evening, as Elara gazed at the stars, she noticed something unusual. One star, larger and brighter than the others, seemed to be flickering in and out of sight. Intrigued, she leaned closer, and to her amazement, she saw a shimmering path of light leading from her window to the star. It was as if the star was calling to her, inviting her to follow. Without hesitation, Elara grabbed her cloak and slipped out of the castle. She followed the starlit path, which wound through the forest, across rivers, and up the steep slopes of the mountains. The path was narrow and treacherous, but Elara's curiosity and determination kept her moving forward. The further she went, the more the path seemed to glow, guiding her through the darkness. After hours of walking, Elara found herself standing at the edge of a vast, glistening lake. The water was so clear that it reflected the stars perfectly, making it seem as if the sky had fallen to earth. In the center of the lake was a small island, and on that island stood a grand tree with silver leaves that sparkled like diamonds. The large, flickering star was perched on one of its branches. Elara knew she had to reach the island, but there was no boat in sight. As she pondered how to cross the lake, a soft voice echoed in her mind, "Believe in the path, and it will guide you." Taking a deep breath, Elara stepped onto the water. To her astonishment, the water supported her weight, and a path of light appeared beneath her feet. She walked carefully across the lake, the starlit path guiding her to the island. As she reached the shore, she felt a sense of calm wash over her, as if she had entered a place of pure magic. The tree on the island was more magnificent up close, its branches stretching high into the sky. Elara approached the tree, and as she did, the star descended from its branch, hovering just above her head. "Princess Elara," the star spoke, its voice soft and melodic, "you have been chosen for a great task. There is a land far beyond these mountains that has fallen into darkness. The people there have lost their way and forgotten the beauty of the night sky. Only a heart as pure as yours can bring back the light." Elara listened intently as the star continued, "I will guide you to this land, but the journey will not be easy. You must find 3 lost stars that have been captured by the shadows. Only by restoring these stars to the sky can you save the land from eternal darkness. Without a moment's hesitation, Alara agreed to the task. The star then transformed into a small, glowing pendant and hung around her neck. "This pendant will light your way and protect you from the shadows," the star said. "Now, follow the path once more." As Alara set out on her journey, the starlit path reappeared, leading her away from the island and into the unknown. She traveled for days, through dense forests, over rocky cliffs, and across barren deserts. Along the way, she encountered creatures of the night, owls, foxes, and even a wise old wolf, all of whom offered their help and guidance. Finally, Alara reached the edge of a dark, desolate land where the sky was covered in thick clouds, blocking out all light. The air was heavy with sorrow, and the ground was cold and barren. This was the land the star had spoken of, a place where hope had been lost. Alara knew the first lost star was near, so she pressed on, her pendant glowing brighter with each step. She followed the light to a deep, shadowy cave. Inside the cave, the walls were lined with sharp rocks, and the air was filled with an eerie silence. At the far end of the cave, Alara saw a faint glimmer of light, the first lost star, trapped in a crystal cage. With determination, Alara approached the cage. As she reached out to touch it, the shadows in the cave came to life, swirling around her and whispering dark thoughts in her ear. But Alara's heart was strong, and she focused on the light of the pendant, which grew brighter and brighter until it drove the shadows away. The crystal cage shattered, and the first star was free. It rose into the air, shining brightly before shooting up into the sky. One by one, the clouds began to part, and the sky grew a little lighter. Alara continued her journey, finding the second star in a twisted forest and the third in the depths of a frozen lake. Each time, the shadows tried to stop her, but each time, her courage and the light of the pendant saw her through. With all three stars restored to the sky, the land began to heal. The sky cleared, and the stars shone brightly once more. The people of the land, who had lived in darkness for so long, emerged from their homes, filled with wonder at the sight of the night sky. Alara returned to the starlit lake, where the tree with silver leaves stood waiting for her. The pendant around her neck glowed one last time before transforming back into the star. It rose into the sky, taking its place among the others. "Thank you, Princess Alara," the star's voice echoed from above. "Because of your bravery, the light has returned to this land. You have done a great deed, and the stars will always remember you." Alara smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The starlit path appeared once more, leading her back home to her kingdom. When she returned, she was greeted as a hero, and the tale of her journey was told far and wide. From that day on, whenever Alara looked at the night sky, she knew that she was never truly alone. The stars were her friends, and they would guide her wherever her heart desired. And so, Princess Alara lived a life full of adventure, always following the starlit path, knowing that it would lead her to new wonders and new dreams.